Double act. We haven't been able to write a proper account because tons and tons of stuff has been happening. And now I suppose I should write it all out, and yet I don't know where to start. You have a go, Garnet. Go on. I don't want to go on. I want to stop. No, I want to go backwards. Back past the day Dad was late back from the boot fair. Back past when ordinary as twins and Dad and Granny day after day part. Back through that awful bit when Mom died and... Stop it, stop it, stop it. No, Ruby, we can't stop now. We've got to remember. And don't you see, we've got to make Dad remember. And then he'll stop seeing Rose. All right. But tell it quickly. The bit about Mom. Tell it as if it was a story and not real, so that it won't hurt so much. Once upon a time, a man called Richard fell in love with a girl named Opal. Opals are beautiful stones that shine all different colors, but some say opals are unlucky. This girl Opal was beautiful, and she shone, and Richard knew he was lucky to have met her. Richard loved Opal. He sometimes mucked about and called her "Oh, pal," because he said she was his pal, and he gave her an opal ring. Where's that ring? Remember how we used to be allowed to try it on? But I haven't seen it for ages. Oh no, Garnet. You don't suppose Dad will give it to Rose? No, of course not. Gran got it safe in her jewel box, and she says she will get it when we're grown up. Which one of us? I doubt it will really to be me, seeing as I'm the eldest, but I'll let you borrow it sometimes, if you're careful. I'm the careful one. Look, you've interrupted my story now. Go on then. You got the ring bit. Dad gave Mom the ring. Richard gave Opal a beautiful opal ring, milky white, but with a different pinks and blues and greens and purples, sparkling like magic whenever it caught the light. They got their own flat. They got married, and they had twin daughters. Which is which? I'm that one, the baby with Mom. No, that's me. You're the baby with Dad. I drew it, so I should know. Well, I can't help that. The baby with Mom is the biggest baby. And just look and see. And I was the biggest. We both know that. That's baby Ruby. I'll show you. It doesn't matter anyway, okay? You're the baby with Mom. Right. Well, Mom held you too, of course. She held me, and then she held you, and Dad held me then, and then we grew up a bit, and we could toddle around, and we didn't need to be held through. We still had cuddles with Mom. We sat on our lap, both of us together. I can't remember. You're just remembering that photograph. Hey, let's stick it in the accounts book. It's not just the photo. I can remember. She felt so soft, and yet her arms could hold you so tight you felt safe. And there was her flowery smell, and her curly hair tickled. She tickled us too, remember? Round and round the garden, and And then she tickled us under our arms and we go all squirmy. Remember that, Ruby? She's gone all quiet. She can't stand remembering because it makes her so sad and she can't ever stand being unhappy. She won't ever cry. That's one of the few ways people tell us apart. If one of us has gone all red and watery-eyed, then it's me. I think I might cry a bit when I write this next part. I'll go back doing it like a story, and I'll scribble it down ever so quickly. The twins started school, and Opal and Richard went to work, and at the weekend they did fun things like going swimming and shopping, and they had the days on the seaside, all normal, nice family things. But then everything stopped being normal and nice. Opal got a bit sick. Then she had to go into hospital. She was all right for a bit after that, but then she got sick again. She couldn't work anymore. She lay on the sofa at home. Gran had to meet the twins from school. Richard stopped working and looked after Opal, but she couldn't get better. She died, so they stopped being a family. There, I written it. Do you want to read what I put, Ruby? No, she doesn't. It was 3 years ago. When we were 7. But we're 10 now and it's alright again. We can't ever be our old family, but we're a new family now. Gran lives with us and she's not like a mother. But then no one can be a mother to us. No one at all. Especially not stupid, frizzy, dizzy Rose. This is Rose. No, this is Rose. Yes, that's Rose. Only she's even worse than that. What does Dad see in her? He's only one like that likes her. Gran doesn't like her one little bit. Gran's face when Dad turned up with Rose that Sunday. We all just stared at her, and Dad came out with all this guff about how she'd helped him when his bag of books broke. And then, surprise, surprise, her car wouldn't start, so he given her a lift and they popped into a pub for a quick drink on the way home, and she was all set to have a sandwich for her lunch, and Dad said he got a proper roast beef and Yorkshire job cooking for him at home, and he went, "Ooh, it's ages since I have a proper Sunday dinner like that." So guess what, folks? He brought her back to share our Sunday lunch. There is no problem, isn't there, Gran? Dad said. No, of course not. Do come and sit down at the table, Rose. There's plenty of food. I'm afraid the beef will be a little overdone and I can't take pride with my Yorkshire today. It was lovely and light and fluffy, but I waylaid your son-in-law and keep him down in the pub and mucked him up your meal, said Rose. She actually laughed. Sorry about that, she said, though she didn't look the slightest bit sorry. Gran had to smile back at her through gritted teeth like it was funny. We didn't smile though, did we, Garnet? She couldn't take the hint though. She was chatted away to us, nattering on how teleprograms and pop records and stuff, as if she'd known us years and years. And she kept trying to remember which one of us was which. Now you're Garnet, right? She said to me. And you're Ruby, she said to Garnet. Yes, we said. Right. Wrong, said Dad, laughing uneasily. That's Ruby and that's Garnet. They're a pair of jokers. Even Gran and I get confused at times. Speak for yourself, Gran said huffily. I'm sorry the beef was so dry. It would have been just cooked. They're a treat when hour or so ago. Anyway, apple pie and cream, help me clear the plates, girls. We helped her clear, and when we came back with the pudding plates, I sat in Garnet's chair, and she sat in mine. Rose was none of the wizard. She nattered away to me, calling me Garnet. She just jabbered stuff to Garnet, calling her Ruby. Yes, I'm beginning to able to tell you apart, she said. You're Ruby and you're Garnet. Yes, right. Well, not quite right, said Dad. He came out with a false ho 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 as if it was a great joke. Stop teasing poor Rose twins. I'm afraid they've swapped seats. They're always doing that. I just call her each girl twin and be done with it, Rose. Oh, I think that's awful, said Rose. I couldn't stand that if I were a twin. Well, certainly twin with roses would be awful. You're two separate peoples who just happen to be sisters, aren't you, Garnet and Ruby? Or Ruby and Garnet? Whichever, I got muddled. We like being called twin, I told her. That's what they call us at school, said Garnet. We are twins, I said. So we like, said Garnet. Being called, I said. Twins, we said simultaneously. Rose raised one eyeball and gave a nil nod. Okay, she said. Got it? She stopped trying to be so mean with us then. She tried complimenting Gran on her apple pie, but Gran stayed as straight up as the dinner and barely said a word. So Dad did all the talking and on, saying all this silly stuff and pulling faces and telling stupid stories. He didn't sound like Dad at all. It was like if he'd swapped with a new twin dad. He didn't go back to be our dad even when we got rid of Rose at last. What do you think of her? He said eagerly. I looked at Garnet. She looked at me. I raised one eyebrow. She raised one too. Then we both turned sideways and pretended to be sick. All right, you've done enough clowning around for one day, Dad said crossly. Yes, don't be so rude, Ruby and Garnet, said Gran. But she didn't sound a bit cross. Did you like Rose, Gran? Dad asked. Well, she seems nice enough, I suppose. A bit pushy, inviting herself to lunch like that. No, I invited her, said Dad. I didn't think you make such big deal about it, actually. You've always said you wished I'd socialize a bit more, bring a few friends home, not stay so wrapped up in the past. Yes, dear. I, I mean that. I'm only to please that you want to bring people back. Dear, if you could have just phoned to give me a bit of warning. And you do want to go a bit carefully with the type of women. What do you mean, type? Said Dad, really angry now. Now, Richard, don't get in a silly state, said Gran, as if he was our great age. It's just seems she seems a bit eager. She's never set eyes on you before today, and yet she's all over you. Even trying to act like one of the family. I've known Rose for months. If you must know, said Dad, she's got our own bric-a-brac stall in an arcade. We're forever bumping into each other at booth fairs. I've always wanted to get to know her better. She's so bubbly and warm and friendly. I don't know how you can talk about her like that. She's a lovely girl. Girl, she said, Gran. She'll never see 30 again. Well, neither will I, Dad shouted. And and it's about time I start making most of my life, okay? He stormed out of the house, slamming the door. And there was a horrible silence after the door. He left. Garnet got hold of my hand and squeezed it tight. She looked like she was going to cry. Gran looked like she was going to cry too. We were all shocked by the row. We don't ever have Rose in our family. It's all that Rose's fault. Yes, it's all Rose's fault. She started all the changes. She comes every Sunday now, and in the week sometimes. And Dad goes out with her in the evenings, and when they come back in the car, they kiss.